Mm.
All right, good evening, fratres and sorors. Good day to everyone kung saan ka man ngayon sa mundo. I am your host for today's show. I'm Father Joseph Lagumbay from the Catholic Universalist Church of Asia Pacific, and this is the Mystics of Maharlika. And today, makakapanayam natin si Mr. Ricky Maramba. Mr. Ricky Maramba is a very, very interesting person because when we first met, I know that he is an atheist. Pero sa mga posts niya at sa mga sa mga comments, parang iba yung dating. So I just realized na Mr. Ricky Maramba pala calls himself a spiritual atheist, and he is someone who is spiritual but not
Not
religious.
religious.
Yun. So,
Actually, ganito ito.
sige, I'll give
Actually,
the floor na to
ganito.
you, sir. Mm-mm.
Sige.
Sige, go.
Actually, ganito, no? To slightly, explain it lang. Before, atheist, and
Mm-hmm,
then it
mm-hmm.
became spiritual atheist. And
Mm,
then, to make it clear, it was spiritual but not religious. Because the only atheism, by definition, is if you don't believe in God. And with me, the only God I don't believe in is a so-called perfect God.
mm-mm.
For me, a perfect God cannot exist because there is suffering in the world. If there is a perfect God, there would be no suffering. Yon. But all the other gods I'm open to. Pero that time, to, fit in one of the biggest, if not the biggest, atheist groups in the Philippines,
Mm-mm.
I called myself atheist, but I told them exactly what I believe in. And okay naman, no? Naging officer pa nga ako dun eh, no?
Wow.
So yun. But right now, to make it kind of clear, yun nga, I just call myself spiritual but not religious na lang.
Spiritual but not religious. So, ngayon po ba, sir,
Oo.
hindi na mag-fit in yung term na atheist sa'yo?
Depends nga on your definition of atheist.
Depends on
If it,
what kind of
the
God
definition,
are you trying?
yeah,
I
what
see.
kind? If it's a perfect God, atheist ako, no? And actually, I heard that the only gods that are supposedly perfect are the gods of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. All the other gods are not considered perfect. All the other gods have their own territories and have their own powers.
Mm-mm.
No, it's like in
Ah,
Marvel, Thor is
mm-mm.
supposed to be really a god in Norway, in somewhere in Scandinavia. See, so parang may kanya-kanyang linya yan. But a
Mm-mm.
perfect God, lahat gawa.
Kumbaga may
Yun.
kanya-kanyang
And,
jurisdiction, parang ganon.
parang
Ah,
ganon. Jurisdiction, specialty, may kanya-kanya yan. I also heard that Hinduism, there is a perfect God, but I think they assume that Brahma is God because he created the world.
mm,
But again, just because you created the world doesn't mean that you are perfect. Because
mm,
kung ganon, then a person who makes, let's say, the metaverse, no, a robot, no,
mm,
will be considered like a god, but he is definitely not perfect.
I see. Sir, matanong ko lang po,
Mm.
ilang taon na po kayo sa path na ito? And can you
Ay,
share your
grabe.
history, sir? How did you chose this path, or anong nag-udyok sa inyo na, tahakin ang path na ito, sir?
Okay. When I was grade school, I'm quite sure nga it was grade 4 because all the weird things I would do, parang I would say na this is going to be a milestone in my life, so I might as well remember the age where I did it. And I remembered grade 4, I bought 4 small books, no? Maliit lang siguro, parang ganyan lang no. One was yoga, palmistry, hypnosis, and something about memory. Anyway, with the yoga, I was doing it. It was hatha yoga, the yoga of yung mga positions. And later, I went into meditation. And for some reason, I think natanggal yung stress ko. And maybe, I started thinking differently. Now, there came a time when the big turning point was I told myself the same thing, which I think Richard Dawkins also says. If I was not born a Christian, will I still be a Christian?
Mm,
No?
mm,
And me, everything is based on truth. Walang bolahan to myself. No, I do not lie to myself. So I said, no, I don't think so. No, it is a bias to say that you are a certain religion just because you were born into it. Okay, so I told myself from that day on na for the rest of my life, I will seek the truth, even though it hurts at the beginning, because of course, it'll hurt at the beginning. You feel that you made the wrong decision and all that, no? Kakainin mo yung sinabi mo, but I said, I want to know the truth. From then, I became a truth seeker. And from then, what happened was, there are so many religions claiming that their God is the best. So I said, how will I know? And I said, the common motive with all of them is that the God is all-powerful, He is good and all that. So what I told myself, since I believe that like attracts like, was something simple. I said, I will meditate on the most powerful God, on the most benevolent God, on the most knowledgeable God, and may the real God, whoever it may be, come and connect to me. No? And to make it generic, that time I was even reading about Dante Alighieri, and I remember reading about a pin of light or whatever. I said, it seems that the most generic would be light. So yun, I ended up meditating on light, and to make it even more generic, I would not call it God, because of course God is very loaded, you know. I would call
Yeah.
it the source with the capital
Mm-mm.
S. And later I found out several people would call it that way. So I said, the energy will come from the source, and when I transmute it on the way down, I call it the force. And that's why the first big book I made, the title was The Force. So what happens is that I was connecting to this thing, which this does not need worship. I don't know whether it's personal or impersonal, or it's just like the one which the Jedis use, na you connect to it and you can use it, no? As you please, there's a good side, there's a bad side. And I said, bahala na what's going to happen to me. And sure enough, there were changes. I became very calm. I could sleep at will. Natanggal yung kasungitan ko. The envy natanggal. As in natanggal, okay? My ego dropped, because that's the problem with spirituality. You know, there's this belief that you have to drop the ego and act. So what happened was, naging utu-atu ako for quite a while. Such na there was even a time na I had a stiff neck, and my classmate at the back was, you know, pushing it this and this, and I wouldn't even get mad. I just smile at him. Talagang it was that bad. Until later, I felt na there has to be a balance, no? So later, I don't know, things started, you know, coming. It's like, I don't know if it's intuition or enlightenment. And I said that, you know, it's not correct that it's just oneness and you don't have your source of individuality. So I said there must be a balance. The feminine is the oneness, the collectivism, and the masculine is the individuality. Okay? So my meditation has two parts. One to connect to the source, and one to strengthen your individuality. Okay? And then later I postulated that in spirituality, there is an oscillation between collectiveness and individualism. So I believe na like the rain cycle, we all come from this big entity, the source. It fractures for some reason. It splinters into several different consciousness, just like an amoeba splinters, or just the way a cloud has rainwater and then nagkakahiwalay. And then when we come down, no, we forget where we came from, the source, and we make so many crazy mistakes. And we replace our enlightenment, our knowledge, our wisdom with rationality. Okay? Until later, we come to a point now we say, something is wrong, we are getting depressed, we are looking for meaning in life, kasi hindi na tayo nakakonekta sa taas. Until later, we are in a way forced to reconnect, and then we go back. Okay, and then when we are back there, we get bored, and then we come down. So the difference is, some religions, they say, now when you go back, you're not coming down. But with me, intuitively, I believe that it is an oscillation of, you come down because you are bored, no? And then you go back up because you are burnt. So it is like an oscillation between, I forgot what I called it before, boredom and madness. You're bored when you're at the top, and then when you come down and you're crazy, mad about everything, mad as in naloloko ka na because you get attached and all that, you want to go back to ano. So it's like sleeping during the night and waking up during the day. You cannot be at the middle, okay? Like in weights also, you have to rest and then you have to play, Okay? So
So
the rest
basically,
is
sir,
with the source.
Yes, sir. So basically, sir, yung sinasabi niyo po, parang iba siya dun sa take naman ng ibang spiritual people na sinasabi nila na there is a spiritual evolution daw. Now, once you like reach a certain level, you will like, be one with the source, and
Yeah.
then, that's it. Hindi ka na babalik. Parang ganun. So do you also have the
Yeah.
same take, or ganun lang talaga,
In a way, yes.
pabalik-balik lang?
No, in a way, yes. In a way, no. In a way, para bang you go up. But again, if you are God, no, this one is getting already deep, ha? This one is, in fact, before I'd consider this classified, eh. Para bang, when you come down, no, if you are really powerful, ha, ang feeling ko, you may come down as a single entity, or you can fracture yourself into several entities, they come down, but at the same time, have the consciousness of the one up there. It's like yun sa Star Trek, the Borg, and then the one on top gets to feel everything at the bottom. Ganon. Kung malakas na malakas ka talaga, I think you can do that. Okay? If you're not, wala. So it is like a computer. Okay? Parang ganito eh, because they ask, which one are you? Okay? It's like this. If you're a computer, okay, here, no, like what we're using, you're a computer, you are connected to the mainframe, you have all the passwords because your karma is clean, you can connect, okay, who is more powerful, you or the mainframe? Now, the thing is, the mainframe, but you'll say, you have the password, so what the mainframe knows, you know. Now, if you have even the other passwords, what the mainframe can do, you can do, because you are God. See, that's the scandal of it, eh. See? So para bang, with some things I have read, if you read between the lines, there are some spiritual entities pa nga that will not want you to know of this. Why? Because they don't want you to know that you are God. And what they are doing is they are staying at the middle as a middleman, and they are claiming that the only way to get to the source is through them. And while they are at the middle, they are making you worship them so that you are never going to know your godhood. Now, for some religions, that's blasphemous. But for some disciplines I have read, they said, no, that is true. And it is the other God who is actually Satan. There, that's the scandal. Ha? That's medyo malalim-lalim na yan. But you know, when you think of it, the thing makes sense. Diba? It makes sense eh.
Yeah,
See?
what you're actually saying, sir, is very similar to the Gnostic, the Gnostic take
Ah, ah, ah.
on godhood. Yeah, that's very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
No, sir, yung
Mm-mm.
tanong ko lang, since medyo 'di ba nag-iba na yung perspective nyo, so I'm quite sure you
Ah,
came
ah,
from a
ah.
family of religious people
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah.
In a way. Okay.
Ah, ah, ah,
So
ah.
how did they take this, this sudden like shift in your perspective during those times na nagsisika ng ganito? Was there
Well,
like
well, well, well,
mm,
the family was very conservative, no? But my siblings didn't, they let me be kasi mabait naman ako eh, no?
mm.
And of course, my parents were freaking out, no? And however, there was a time when I felt na wala na kaya ko na. Because I already knew how to answer to their questions, no? And as my scandalous friend said, no, she goes, you have to put them in their place. So when I learned how to do that, wala na. Talagang kontrolado. Kasi at the beginning, they will, you know, maybe with good intentions, they will gaslight you. But later,
Mm.
mapapaisip ka and you will say, hindi, tama talaga ako.
Mm.
And that's the advice I'm going to give to all those seekers na, alam mo nyo, kapag tama kayo, tama kayo. Kasi minsan talagang these people who will gaslight you to tell you na hindi, nasa demonyo ka and all that, no? Minsan sila naman talaga ang mali eh. Okay? So if you really feel na tama ka, no? Panindigan mo na tama ka, pero huwag ka na manggulo. Hayaan mo na lang sila. Ganun
Sir,
na lang ang advice ko sa kanila.
in this path that you are taking, sir, what was like, your syempre, di ba, this is a path. So when you say a path, it's a road.
Hmm.
So what were like the breakdowns and let's say the breakthroughs that has happened to you? Like
Wow.
the major ones.
Okay, wait ha. Medyo marami yan, no? But, it's going to be so hard to believe eh. So I'll try to just share the more believable ones.
Sige,
Well,
sige.
okay ha. Well, yun nga, no? Um, uh, one was that, no? Okay, grade school. And then I got into all sorts of, things on divination and all. But my frustration was I was doing all that, but I wasn't psychic. Until one day, I was talking to a phone pal. And this is how, I still remember nga her name, but let's not mention it here, no? And all of a sudden,
Kama-summon.
I had this idea of how she looked. So I couldn't, I had to ask her. I said, wait, sige, I'll tell her at least first name. I said, Fanny, I might as well ask you. It's bothering me what? Are you white with freckles, with a round face, with brown hair and brown eyes? That's specific, huh? She goes, yeah, how did you know? I said, oh my God.
Damn.
And then I go, the one you're wearing, your clothes, it's white with blue and red piping on the sleeves. Doon ako nagkamali, blue and red piping on the sleeves. However, the distinct thing is, parang it's like a sailor. Yung parang nasa likod, that thing, no? It's like a sailor. And she goes, yeah. Now, when I finally visited her at the house, that's exactly how she looked. But the clothes, I didn't bother to ask her. And when I talked to my cousin, who psychic, she goes, congratulations, you're one of us. Yeah, and that's what she said. So from that day on, medyo lumakas. And then I met someone who taught me. And I didn't know, but it was so damn scandalous at that time. That was what? If now I'm 60, I think I was 18 at that time. So imagine that's 42 years ago. And what he taught me later, it's only less than 5 years ago that I found out that what he was teaching me was Gnosticism. And he was telling me,
I see.
yeah, imagine 42 years ago, huh? And he said, Ricky, don't tell anybody, they will not understand. And I had to close my mouth for that long, okay? And such na, these were the things, he said, Ricky, even if you pray for Jesus Christ, it does not mean that you're connected to Jesus Christ, because there may be other entities which are yung impostors. And I said it makes sense because all of these people, they claim they pray to Jesus Christ for this, that. Jesus Christ, I want him to fall in love with me and all that. I mean, are you crazy? Do you actually think that your God is going to ano difference yan sa panggagayuma, di ba? Ganun naman eh. So it kind of made sense. That's why with me, whenever I meditate, I always make sure I am pure of heart, and I make sure na walang nasasagasaan, and I'm very strict about this idea of no, ano ba ito? Yung no infringement. Never I do that, no. And as of now, very, very calm. I don't get jealous. I don't get envious. I don't get stressed, hardly. I usually can sleep, no? And, I don't feel unhappy. I don't feel sad. I cry, but when I cry, it's due to tears of joy. No, it's never tears of happiness. Like yan, naaminin ko, in Avatar, both avatars, I cried the whole time, beginning to end, because it was very touching for me, no? But yung sadness, no. Wala na, no? So, after a while, you even feel guilty na, how come I can't experience the things which other people feel? Like, even romantic love, wala na. Wala na, no? And some girls are so pissed na, bakit hindi ka manligaw? And then I go, ayoko eh. Kung gusto rin niya ako, di bakit pa ako manliligaw? Yung it's ibang-iba na talaga the way you think,
Ibang
And
level na yung mindset.
iba na, oo. Iba na, oo. And then like if they say, pasensya na Ricky, I have a guy, I say, oh, sorry for bothering you. I'm happy for you. And then someone tells me, gago ka Ricky, she likes you. I said, gago ba siya? I don't want being tested. Yung ganon, for me, it's normal. But for other people, parang, they say, Ricky, may saltik ka. Or Ricky, you don't love them enough. And wala na nakakainis eh. But one day, and sometimes, talagang totoo yan. You cry na, why are you different? Until one day I told myself, Ricky, you decide. Do you want to be normal and have all the stupid problems they have? Di ba? You know naman how these people, or do you want na, weirdo ka nga, wala makaintindi sa'yo, pero wala kang mga problema, masaya ka palagi, at palagi kang kinikilig at in love na you don't need a woman, or you don't have to need children. And I said, I pick the latter. Talagang when I decided there, yun na, no? But of course, you see the others and you feel out of place. There are only a few people who can understand me. But it took several years for them to understand me, no? And, but yun, of course you feel out of place. Pero, you know, wala akong problema eh. Sa totoo lang eh, see? And also the thing na, this idea of running after money, wala. Your gana, like ambition, wala rin. And then when you come to think of it, I don't see ambition as a virtue in any spiritual book. No, wala eh. Wala talaga eh. Even romantic love, wala. In fact, I think even Buddhism, I don't even hear them use the word love eh. They use the word compassion eh, see? So, yun lang nga. Syempre, you really feel weird. But at the end, I said, Ricky, you decide. Okay, do you want to be like this and weird and no one understands you? Or do you want to be happy? And I said, yan, I'll pick happy. Like one time, I saw in one of these forums, when was the last time na kinilig ka? And someone said, 2 years. I said, what? 2 years? Ako kinikilig ako araw-araw eh. Oh, ganun ako. And when's the last time I had a commitment? 1999, I got separated. Yun, after that, never had a girlfriend. And ako, palagi akong kinikilig eh. Makinig lang ako ng love song, madali, kikiligin ako. Yung ganun, it's easy to trigger. While the others, wala. I said, you know, I'd rather be like this. I don't care if they call me weird, no? Yun, so yun, that's the weird kind of spirituality I have.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting talaga si Ricky. I'm quite sure, no? Maybe not that many, but merong mga kagaya nyo po na pinagdadaanan pa right now, yung mga pinagdaanan niyo po. So, since you mentioned earlier, you are already 60 years old. Nadulas ka
60,
kanina.
oo.
Dual
Hindi, okay
citizen.
lang yan. Dual citizen.
So, di ba? You've been in this path for quite long, like, you know, weirduhan yung mga tao sa iyo, and you also realize that you are somewhat weird, but there are other people who are in the same place as you are right now. I mean, maybe you were like years ago, and they might need guidance. So ano pong mensahe nyo para sa mga tao na may similar case or may
May
similar
similar.
path, o na you know, perhaps maybe some words of wisdom or guidance para sa kanila? And if you offer, let's say, mentorship or discipleship, whatever you want to call that, how can they contact you po?
Sige ha. Okay, first the tips is when someone tries to gaslight you or telling you nasa demonyo ka and all, do not believe them. You really think for yourself. Mabait ka ba talagang tao o hindi? Meron ka ba nasasagasaan o hindi? Kung wala ka nasasagasaan, usually there is nothing wrong naman. Okay? And do not convince yourself na wala kang sinasagasaan kung talagang meron kang sinasagasaan. Like yan nga, magdadasal ka para, you know, this guy or girl will fall in love with you. Walang ganunan. Walang ganunan ha. Kasi for me, that's infringement. Even if you feel that you are good for him or her, bawal yan eh. Okay, that's one thing. And then the thing is, do not try to convert too many people because sometimes you cannot because it's not their time. And sometimes, like me, I find so much pain in seeing so many good people, no, who mean well, who are getting really burned in their karma because they're picking the wrong path. Of course, para makapalang mukha ko, no? Pero yun na yun, okay? So what I do is, I don't learn from my mistakes. I learn from other people's mistakes. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay? You listen to a lot of people. You listen to all their problems with their boyfriends, girlfriends. And that's why, di ba, a lot of single people, they're able to give good advice. No? Kasi ganun yun eh. We watch all the drama. We don't like it, but we give good advice. No? So yun. Basta you observe. Do not try to, you know, do not try to convert anyone. You ask them, you have an option, that there is another option, there's another version of spirituality. I want to teach you. Would you want to learn? Kung ayaw, ayaw. Kung nasusunog, nasusunog. Kung mamamatay, mamamatay. I'm not exaggerating. I've had some people na namatay. Okay? Meron talagang ganun. One which is, you know, until now, I hope, Richard, pasensya na ha, kasi magaling na psychic yun eh, naturuan ko yun eh. Ang nangyari kasi sa kanya ganito, he came to me and he said, Ricky, could you heal me? I said, it's been a long time since I've done that. And he goes, please, you make me your guinea pig. I said, what's your problem? He goes, Ricky, lahat na problema ko. Like what? May anxiety problem siya. he has anger problems. I think he was bipolar. He had mood problems and all. So I fixed him. You know, after that, he didn't anymore go to Mandaluyong. Ano, he didn't for a while. Okay. They were calling him na and he said, no, it's fine. Later he went, but he said, Ricky, I'm going there not because I need it, but because I want to talk to my doctor who is pretty. That's the only reason why he was going there. Loko-loko talaga si Richard.
Ay, grabe.
And, yeah. Para may makausap na maganda. Loko-loko rin yun, eh, no? So I said, sige, go. And, you know, his psychologist or psychiatrist was very open to this. So okay naman, no? And even our common friends were so happy na nagbago na siya. And I told him, Richard, you have another problem. Would you want to fix it? You know, I asked permission. He goes, what? You like sweets. And kasi me, when I hit 40, talagang, you know, iba na pakiramdam mo. And I had to watch all those health videos. And I said, you will have a problem with that. No. You know, I think I asked him 3 times. Talagang no. I said, let's make it such na I'll take off your gana to drink all those sugary things. No. Yun. You know, I was in an internet cafe and our common friend messaged me, did you hear about Richard? Sa lulu ko, maybe he got a relapse. I said, no. Why? How is he? Ricky, he just died. Yun. Talagang alam mo, nakatulala ako sa monitor. See? So ganun talaga. You know, it's just like, you know, it's just like doctors, you know, of course, these people who drink and who smoke, they all come to them. And if they don't follow the doctor is not, you know, he has to just take it. Kahit kaibigan mo, you know, you take it, di ba? So, yun lang nga, if you're an empath, yan, no, and you see all those things, ay nako, masakit talaga. Okay. So, yun pa isa.
All right, so ngayon naman sir, since 'di ba you are into this path tapos ang dami mo nang na-experience din. Yun nga sabi mo kanina medyo nawiwirduhan din yung ibang tao sa inyo. And I'm quite sure na madami din kagaya nyo. How can people contact you, sir, if they want mentorship from you, or do you
Uy,
offer mentorship or discipleship or any spiritual services? If you do that, how can they contact you?
as of now, I have a YouTube channel. The name is Ricky Maramba. No? As of now, since it's new pa lang, siguro you could add me to my Facebook account, Ricky Maramba. As of now, my profile picture is a bicycle. No? Kasi mga 10 ang Ricky Maramba doon. And then it's all jokes, ha? Huwag kayong manibago. And then you message me first and you tell me that to ask to approve of your friend request and you saw the video here. Okay, so at least I will know. Kasi minsan may mga naliligaw na gustong magpa-friend request pero walang laman yung, alam nyo naman, walang laman yung yung
Mga trolls
profile.
lang,
So,
mga
yeah.
trolls pa.
Mga trolls, okay. And then, the thing which well, as of now, I don't charge her anything, no? Labor of love lang. But of course, hopefully, the channel is going to be monetized, hopefully. Pero, 1,000 subscribers, marami-rami yun. The gist, as of now, what I'm thinking is, with the channel, no, I want to place meditation videos, no? I have a few videos there, a few interviews, and the one which everyone is really looking at is the meditation video. I have a 4-phase meditation, one which I made on my own. And since it is clicking well, no, I'm thinking of making other videos like meditation on how to forget your ex, because, a lot of people have problems like that. The other one is a couples meditation, such na you meditate with your significant other, and then I will attempt to make a meditation so you can bind your energies. No? So hopefully mas mai-inlove kayo sa isa't isa.
Wow.
Yung mga ganon, and then meditation on
I think I'll
how to
need
be
that.
able to sleep better, to take off your anxiety. No? Yan, yung mga ganon, no? So I'm thinking of that, and if when you comment there, or if you message me, I would appreciate if you give me ideas on what to talk about. The range of ideas can be from spirituality to relationships to Ano pa ba? Politics kasi I don't like eh. No, delikado baka ako mapatay, no? So the politics and things like that, wag na, wag na. However, I read
Ang
a
init yan
lot
ngayon.
about them. Oo, medyo delikado eh. But if you want to ask tips on how to find out the truth and all that, I'm thinking of making a video on that. So at least it's generic, no? So yan, a lot of things like that. My angle is slightly different, no? It's spirituality. You don't have to worship a god. You're just going to connect to an energy source. I'm going to teach you like karma, what makes it such that your connection to the source breaks down, okay? When you have bad intentions, you're not doing it out of love, or when you're stressed, yan, humihina yung connection and things don't go your way and natatanggal yung happiness nyo. So yun. And then the other thing which other people find a little hard to believe, but I have managed to do it, is sometimes kasi, like this is in the relationship side, no? I also intend to make a video on this, no? And you can ask questions also in sa relationship, is sometimes there are handsome men and women who for some reason don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, even if they want to. And there is nothing wrong with them, okay? And the reason why is because there is something in their aura which isn't exactly, not naman palatable, pero hindi type nung the person who they want to Like, haven't you noticed na may magaganda dyan pero walang dating? Yun. May
Yun.
magaganda at mga pogi na walang dating.
Mm.
Okay? Okay. There are some people na hindi naman gwapo, hindi naman maganda, pero ang ganda-ganda ng dating, you feel like talking to them, even though they still haven't given you eye contact, or even though they have not opened their mouth. So yan, me, as an empath, I have noticed, I have seen that happen, and I think I know why that happened. So I want to come out with a video to teach that and to make a meditation such that you will be more attractive to the opposite sex, or the opposite sex will feel more comfortable with you. Yun.
Boss
Yun, no?
Ricky, aabangan talaga namin yan. So, sure na
Oo,
sure.
yung mga
Oo,
ganyan.
kasi
Oo. Kasi,
ang daming magaganda at mga pogi dyan na walang girlfriend, walang boyfriend. Wala
wala.
namang problema sa kanila, di ba? May
Oo.
pera naman, may ano
Oo.
naman. Pero, ba't
At
ganon?
matino
So,
naman.
matino naman.
Oo,
Yun
yun.
nga.
And,
Maybe there's
yeah.
something wrong.
And
So,
yeah. And then this idea na, why do women like bad boys and not good boys? Yan, I also intend to explain
mm,
that. And how come some men, ang trip naman nila, ganun rin. They like damaged women. Ayaw nila kumuha ng babaeng matino. And mukhang matino, pero later they find out na, like this, di ba? There are some men and women na kaka-break lang nila, and then the next person they fall in love with, halos parehas yung ugali dun sa ex nila. Parang bakit ganun? They always attract the same kind. Yon, I also intend to talk about that. So, lahat yan from the spiritual to the relationship, yan, I want to talk about that. No, kasi very few people will, also want to touch on that eh. Ganun.
all right, Sir Ricky, thank you so much, sir, for your time. We really appreciate it. At I'm sure na maraming napulot na aral itong mga kaibigan natin no, na nanonood sa video na ito ngayon. Talaga. Sir Ricky, thank you for sharing your wisdom today. And once again, this has been Father Joseph from the Mystics of Maharlika saying Namaste. God bless everyone.
Okay.
All right.
Good night.